Yeah, the movie really is called Dead Dicks. So this is a weird one. This is a fucking weird movie. This is a science fiction drama with some horror elements. So this is more sci-fi horror, but a lot of drama, some comedy. It's kind of got a lot of flavors going on in here. There's some horror, no doubt, but it's sprinkled in. The synopsis, that's kind of tough because I went into this completely blind. This dropped today. I had no idea it existed until today. And as soon as I saw it, it was $4 to rent or something. As soon as I saw the title and I saw that it looked like it might be semi-quality, I was like, I'm pressing play on this because it's just too good of a title not to talk about on the channel. Overall, I liked it a decent amount. I dug it because it's unique and fairly original. Like, you can't be original. I've said this a million fucking times. I'm going to say this a million more times. You can't be completely original. I just don't think it's possible. But to do something that I've definitely not seen done this way, that right there in itself is going to have me, kind of in your hands at that point. So once you got me there, get me in a place where I'm like, oh shit, this is kind of unique. This is kind of different. Once I'm in that space, man, you're really easy to mold by that point. And I think they do a pretty good job of landing what they're going for here. Now, this is pretty much a one location. For the most part, it doesn't need much of a budget at all. There's only a couple moments where some special effects that are needed, but for the most part, you could get away with having almost nothing to this. Now, as I said, if you want to go in completely spoiler free, this is sci-fi. The box says that it's like Cronenberg-esque. I don't know if that's apt, but I understand what they're saying because technically it's like body horror, but it's a different kind of body horror. But anyway, I'm going to give a synopsis. If you want to avoid that and check this out, it's different. There's no doubt about that. And yes, in case anyone's wondering, it does feature full frontal male nudity. So with a title like this, they do deliver on some dicks. So what this movie's about is a sister has just been accepted into this college. She's worried about telling her brother because he wouldn't want her to leave. Her brother's a total fuck up. He calls her while she's at work and needs her help. He keeps calling her, and she can't fucking ignore it any longer. So she tells one of her coworkers, look, I gotta go check on my brother. Cover for me, I'll be right back. And she goes to the house and she finds his dead body. She's freaking out, of course. Oh my God, what the hell? My brother killed himself. She's so sad, And then he appears behind her, completely in the nude. This is where you get some dickage. And she's like, what the fuck? And this is what I'm saying. This is like, I don't want to get too spoilery with this, but let's just say that he's found a way to come back from the dead multiple times. And that's all I'm going to say. I do really want to talk about one specific thing in this movie, but I don't want to reveal it. But let's just say the way he comes back, I immediately knew what it was when I saw it. Like, I immediately was looking at it like, because this is one of my favorite things on earth, I recognized it instantly. I was like, is that what I think it's going to be? And, once I saw the dead body and him return, I was like, and the fact that he's naked, I was like, oh my God, this is what this movie's doing. Now, I think that this movie's trying to be metaphorical, for sure. And it deals with a lot of dramatic elements between the brother and the sister because they have this very turbulent, rocky relationship because of his inept nature. He's a fuck up, and he constantly is fucking up, and she's always constantly, holding back her life because of him. And a decent amount of drama ensues because of that. And it gets fairly dramatic towards the end. There's also a lot of playfulness and silliness to this movie. So it is all over the place, but for some reason it actually is able to balance all of those and never felt like the film didn't understand what it was. I know a lot of the times that I'll make reviews on films like this, I will sit here and I'll kind of harp on the film was tonally all over the place, and I don't feel like that they could decide on what like tone they wanted to go for. They didn't have a vision in mind. And with this one, I feel like their vision was perfectly illustrated on screen. Like this, it felt cohesive. It felt like it transitioned from comedic to kind of silly to dramatic to ridiculous to, you know, all these different kinds of tones, but I felt like it kind of did it seamlessly. The acting in this, for what it calls for, it's all good. It's all adequate for exactly what it needs to be. I think there's only like 3 main characters in the film and maybe 1 or 2 other people in the entire film. So it's very one location, very, you know, low key on the setting and the characters. But yeah, it's going to be a movie that once you've seen it, you're not going to be able to not talk about it with certain people, especially if they've seen it. But people who won't even watch the movie, you'll be like, dude, okay, I got to try to explain this movie to you. And a lot of people, when they hear exactly what's happening and what's going on, they're going to be like, what the fuck did you watch? That sounds stupid as shit. Or that sounds absolutely ridiculous or whatever. Somehow they're still able to pull it off like it's serious. And I think they did a really good job with the budget that they had, clearly being very, very little. I thought it was a pretty unique storyline. I thought it was executed pretty well. And for all the tonal shifts, it never felt lost. So, you know, I liked it. For $4, if it does sound like your kind of film, if you're into sci-fi, you know, a little different, fairly silly at times, pretty dramatic at other times. Like, if this sounds like something you're interested in, you should absolutely watch it. Or if you're just a fan of cocks on screen, you'll see a few of those too. So whatever floats your boat, let me know. Adios.